Alright, test 1, 2, 3. What's going on, fellow rogues? It's Massmere here, and welcome in for Moving Houses, a game that kind of has me concerned. So, to kind of give like a little bit of backstory on this, guys, Amber17 picked this up for me. Also, welcome in Elginox and Amber. Amber17 picked this up for me. It's kind of like a joke for the factor that I'm going to be moving in a few weeks. And the one thing she told me was to not look up anything about it on Steam. So, I'm going to this kind of concerned, knowing her brand of chaos. I mean, everything seems like, this basically is just a game about, like a cozy game about, literally moving and everything. But I'm kind of concerned. I mean, maybe it's just nothing. But we'll see when we actually get in here. But yeah, as far as this game is concerned, like I said, I don't really know too much about it other than the fact, seeing that Halo in the chat right now, that's telling me something's up. She's up to something. But anyways, I know that whenever she does a Halo emote for something, that means she's up to some mischief. But yeah, I was hoping to get back around doing Chrono Trigger today, guys, but unfortunately that wasn't in the cards. It's been like a pretty, hectic week and all that in between, like getting ready for the move and so on. Like, even though it's only a few weeks from now, but getting ready for the move, dealing with more stuff from like the people next door and everything, which I've already spoken about that enough. Doing pretty good for the most part, Elginox. So I was wanting to do Chrono Trigger today, but unfortunately this is like another week where I'm kind of putting that off for right now. Just kind of like, eventually I'm going to get back to doing Chrono Trigger and doing my like 2 streams for Wednesdays, but at the very least there should definitely be 2 streams tomorrow. Because, outside of like me like trying to get back into more Bloodborne, tomorrow we're going to be doing more Grounded 2. Hopefully maybe Elginox will actually be able to properly join us for this time. But we are going to be playing Grounded 2, hopefully around like 2 p.m. That's the time we're shooting for. And we're going to like definitely try to find like a proper base, because since we got like the shared world thing going on, and Amber, being like, the friend in the group, who's trying like, to make sure we got like, like keep our base like occupied. She's been really wanting to play the game again. We're going to try to focus on find like a proper spot to build a base. So that way, she can go into, and play by herself, without like us around. Like, and work on the base building and everything without like any shame, considering she said that she doesn't want to actually go in and really play too much more without us before we find anywhere else. So, I really like dive too much more into the map. So we're gonna try to find like a proper place, like, for, an actual base where we kind of got like a little, camp set up. But we're gonna try to like find somewhere we can actually build like a proper house or whatever. Maybe work on that a little bit, at least get the foundation started. But it should be a fun stream for Grounded 2 tomorrow, and also I'll be like trying to jump into more Bloodborne. I'm gonna get my gym session for Thursday out of the way tonight after I finish the stream. Going to get that out of the way first, so like tomorrow I'll be completely free. Anyways, yeah. Moving houses. We're gonna go ahead and get moving on with the stream of moving houses and see what's going on. See what this game's about. All right. So anyways, I already got like my options set. Like as far as like the resolution, everything is concerned. All right, so that's pretty interesting right there. Start here to experience moving houses. Play the game with even more things to pack. Cut content. That cut content seems pretty interesting, but we're gonna of course go and do this. Alright, so let me see. Menus escape. Alright. WASD. Alright, AD. Q to highlight objects. Tasks tabbed. R is to throw. F is to open. V is to kick. Okay. I think I got it. And hopefully there'll be like a little tutorial in here actually kind of show me how to play anyway. Also, I might need to do some of that death counter. We're not playing. We are not playing the Blood of Born currently. So turn that on. Hi there. Your task over here in the right side of the screen. Complete the first task to unlock the front door. Alright, the front yard. What a beautiful day to get packing. Start by grabbing a box from the pile near the truck and pack up what you can over by the garage door. Now hold on, not everything needs to be put in the box. Some things like the chair can be tossed right into the back of the van. Okay. Most items have a box icon next to their name, meaning you have to put them in a cardboard box and toss the box in the van. Items with the van icon can be tossed right in. Alright. First, go to the pile of cardboard unfolded boxes and get a cardboard box. If you can't find something, you can highlight items. If you're stuck, you can reset the current. Okay. Actually, this is like one of those games where it doesn't really require. We're gonna set it to medium. It actually kind of seemed like it's surprisingly actually a little chuggy, not by much, but. Now pick up the box and take it over to the house. You pick the box up and take it over to the house. This is how you kick. I'll kick the sign. I'll kick the box. All video games need a kicking. Kick. Welcome in, Jeremy. I feel like an anime character. Can I get the basketball? Can we do this completely like... Yeah, we're totally gonna play soccer here. Whatever. Fun. Okay. Yeah, see, it's perfectly there. It's right there where it needs to be. It's all it needs to be. Grab a chair and toss it directly in the van. Shut up. Darn it. Oh, that music kind of sounds a little bit... Sounds nice, but... I gotta just automatically boxes. Alright, so we gotta get the table. Go full on Dudley boys up in here, I suppose. Okay, well. Oh my god, shut up. We don't want music. Really? Oh my god. Box, I swear. Knock it off. Ah, sweet silence. Yay, I got a star. I unlocked the ability to run, apparently. Packable items have a number in the top left, which tells you how large the item is. Box have a capacity in the top left, tells you how much you can pack in a box. Don't forget, you can always change how you hold an item by either holding it close, the default, or holding it further away from you. This can help you navigate tight space or make it easier to put things in boxes. Looks like you got the hang of it. Great job. Before you head inside, you also need to get the stuff in the backyard. Now, I know it's a bit of a stroll. I'll tell you a secret. You need to take a box for this one. Everything right back there can be tossed right in the van. Okay, I'm just hoping I don't get a copyright strike for the music. Can I kick the tire? Fine. I'm going to treehouse. You gonna let me climb the treehouse, now let me go in. I want to go in the treehouse. I'll move in here. Pretty sure like the Wi-Fi is pretty decent. Let me up. I want to get in the... Fine. Whatever. I won't move in the treehouse. I mean, I'm hoping it's not gonna, like, you know, penalize me. Let me make sure. Yeah, there's no streamer option. So I'm hoping it's, like, just gonna, like, you know, gonna be copyright free. Or DCRM free or whatever. It seems like I keep on, like, hearing different remixes of, like, you know, the I'm moving out. Like, the song. I mean, I do know about the song, at least. Oh. Unlock, and I can jump. I like how I'm just having to unlock the base necessities. I expect this game to be like a Metroidvania. Well, you must be a natural. Have you done this before? Give yourself a pat on the back and head inside. Might as well be again in the hallway, right? Work your way in before you get too deep. The hallway has a few pictures hanging there, and you don't even need a box for those either. I'm climbing the house. Okay, whatever. I won't climb on the house then. Fine. Take my fun away from me. Alright, plants and paintings. Stupid Bloodborne. Stupid cleric beast. I don't know. Is this the plant they're talking about? That wasn't me. What the hell did she do? Nah, I think I'm starting. You said I need a box for this. Oh, box for the pictures, okay. Well, you know, it's already out here, so, yeah. Huh? Unless it's not the right plant. Oh my god. You can specify what plant. Is it this plant? Oh, it's not the plotted plant. It's just the plant. It don't matter. You know, it's all about, like, you know, what the plant's moved into. He shoots. He scores. And... Alright, so there's that. Okay, so... I don't know, that picture falling off the wall the way it did. I don't know if that was a glitch. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need that church by the time I'm done with this, because... You're so good. You now pack more stuff in a single box now. I've only been packing one thing in a box so far. You're so... Alright, living room, you're so good at this. I know you must have done this before. We knew there was so much stuff in there. I guess you did, since it's your stuff and all. You need a lot of boxes for this part, and do a little be a little gentle with that TV. You'll probably need to rotate carefully to get through the door. Alright, well, let's get to work. Alright, so cup, clock. Where's the clock? Oh, right, there's the clock. Alright. TikTok, the clock goes in the box. Or whatever. Alright, controller. So and soon we're gonna like put the game radio in here too. DVD player. Cushion. Alright, book. There's the cut. That's a glass. Good thing I got carpet here. Alright, take this one out. Kobe. I don't know how the hell I managed that one. Here we are. I mean, just throwing boxes on top of the movie. I mean, it's still like counted. It was still like on the truck. Just not in the truck. I mean, it was on it, but... Alright, let's go and go get this TV. I wish you could like rotate personally, I wish you can kind of like rotate with the, you know, just with like the mouse wheel or something. Alright, book. Get all the books. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, can't win them all. The one thing, let me like work with the mouse sensitivity on this a little bit. I can just like do it directly from my mouse, but control look. All right, look sensitivity. Yeah, it needs to be. All right, that's much better. That's a little too high, but. Okay, yeah, that works more. I mean, I can easily. And now the bookcase is trying to attack me. Dang well, like, you know, my scrawny self did not... Well, scrawny in game, I'm sure. I know I did not, like, you know... Tip that over. But the love of... Yeah, hopefully, like, you know, when I actually do move in a few weeks, it'll go, like, a little bit smoother than this. I put the mod... Alright. Attends à moi. Fine, I'll give it its own box then, since apparently... It's weird, because I tried to put it in that box back there, and there's more room in it. Okay. That was strange. For some reason, it wouldn't let me put it in the other box. Alright, monitor and office chair. And now we just need the office chair. Alright, this thing right... Okay, got a little bit of a bug going on. Am I stuck to it? Because I can't pick this thing back up, I don't think. I'll just try like... Alright, hopefully it's at least a little bit out of the way now. Okay. I mean, I think my secret lab chair is a little bit better than this one, but... You can kick harder now. Why would I want to do that? All right, the garage. Look at all the tools and gadgets in here. I bet you could fix anything. I bet you could get lost in all the memories just thinking about it. There's a little bit of everything tucked away here. Here's no secret. Make sure to open the cabinets. Who knows what's hiding in it? Well, I guess you do it. I guess you do, being your stuff and all. I'm concerned about that. I knew it, Amber. I knew it. You got me into something here. Can I just open the garage door? Really? All right, I'm gonna go and get like because yeah, we got a lot of tools out here. I knew she got me into something. The thing is, I'm having a feeling it's gonna get worse and worse. I swear, if she didn't actually rope me into a horror game. Someone was telling me this game was like too upbeat and too like, you know, too upbeat, you know, too cozy and all that. And the fact that, you know, she basically suggested it to me, told me not to look on the Steam page. And when they showed me about it was a song and everything, which I looked that up, but really? Yeah, it's a cute house. Just one's probably gonna try to kill me by the time I'm done with this. But hey, at least you were making sure that, like, if it's a poltergeist, like, or something here, like, all like the stuff you can throw at me is getting, like, you know, succinctly packed away. You be quiet. Okay, take this one out, gonna bring another one in. Now that plant's still sitting out there like nothing done with it, but I think it's gonna need to work my way to the kitchen. Stool, alright, packed. So, yeah, let's go and just put these away. I'm not about to have them thrown at me by some kind of malevolent entity here. I'm starting to feel like there might be a reason why I'm moving. Scraper. Scraper, scraper, scraper. Oh, there's a scraper. Okay. Well, they gave me just enough boxes to work with on that. Alright. So, all that's packed. Now we just gotta go and get, like, the bigger things. So, 3 points. Almost. Look, a man can dream, okay? I totally could have made that shot. I just didn't. What matters is, you know, it's just the journey along the way or something. The journey from, like, you know, this porch over to my moving van. And yeah, you just gotta think big, Rogues. You know, you always gotta, like, just remember, you know, anything's possible as long as you believe. Plastic metal box, or toolbox. I got plastic metal toolbox and metal toolbox mixed up. You know, and to go alongside this, one thing I actually am kind of excited about, guys, is that tomorrow I actually do have, like, some other furniture I'm gonna have, you know, for the new house. Actually is arriving tomorrow. I mean, I'm not gonna be unpacking it, but I've been wanting, like, an IKEA Alex drawer for a while. And thanks, you know, thankfully, there's some people here on my channel, you know, help me out with, like, you know, with raising a little bit of money for the move, like getting a few things for the new house. I was able to actually kind of get that picked up. And it's supposed to arrive tomorrow in the mail, like, you know, by delivery. But like I said, I'm not gonna be unboxing until I, you know, get to the new house. But that's gonna be like, cause I've got this little drawer right here, like, you know, up under my desk. And I kind of like checked the dimensions for the Alex one and measured my desk, like, you know, for, as far as like height, and it should be able to fit right up under there. And it'll be like more space. It'll look better. It'll kind of like, you know, because the drawer set I got right here, it's like it's a gray color compared to my desk being white. So like it also kind of like just, you know, blend with it better. I may do it like a stream or whatever of me, like, you know, building my stuff or whatever, just like so you can talk, so I can, you know, just chat with you guys. I want to get to a new place, get things set up. I kind of like was considering like just doing like a whole stream where I'm just working on getting like my getting my shelves and drawers and everything, you know, like getting stuff built, getting like, you know, my shelves put up and all that, and then just kind of let you guys like see like, you know, a time lapse of me, you know, getting everything, you know, situated. I haven't decided yet. But it's something I really am thinking about doing. Like, I know it probably like, definitely take some setup. It wouldn't be gaming. I think it would just be like a fun thing. Just like kind of like where I just like, you know, gasket. These drawers are gonna stop trying to fall on me. Okay, so I didn't know this watering can. You know, I just glanced it and then saw something falling on me. But yeah, I kind of like I'm considering like doing like a few streams. Like I didn't do it last time when I moved because I've lived in this house for a couple years. But again, I'm having to leave due to people next door, like, you know, being extremely noisy. Nothing like that's not gonna stop, and just for the betterment of my health and everything, you know, getting out of here. But I am considering before, like, you know, because it's gonna take some time for me to get back to doing like, you know, gaming streams, getting everything set up. So what I want to like, you know, at least do is get like my desk and everything. So once the internet's put on, like turn on, I want to at least get my desk set up. Get my stream set up, you know, up to snuff, and then afterwards, you know, just maybe do like a go live thing where you guys will see like the bare room, and then like over time you'll see me kind of like start building on it. I think that would be like a fun little series to do. It'd probably take me like maybe like 2 or 3 streams, give or take. But I really have been considering it, and I'm probably definitely gonna do it. Wait, where's the metal toolbox? It's just me, or okay, there was a metal toolbox here. Did I not throw it onto the... Didn't I get the metal toolbox already, guys? I don't tell me the game's on glitch or something, because I swear, like, I got the metal toolbox. Really? That's... yeah. That was cheap. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it just would be nice, kind of like, you know, once I kind of like, you know, get like the layout, get an idea on what I want to do for like the stream, or like, you know, for like in my layout, I'll basically just like go on in and try to like work on getting like something put together. I got to check something real quick. Hey guys, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Give me a second here. Alright guys, sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, pretty much it's gonna like, so I was just gonna start off with everything being completely blank compared to what you guys are seeing here on my stream room. But I think it would just be interesting to kind of like go in, and I don't know if I actually am probably gonna like really do a thing where I'm gonna be like putting everything on the shelves during the stream, maybe. And that one kind of like just showcase to you guys like what I'm putting up there. So basically I can kind of like, you know, just show off every single little bit of like stuff I've got. So I think that would actually be like an interesting stream to do. Like, you know, when I get like a new shelf put, I was like, all right, I'll basically be run you guys through like a close up of everything, because a lot of you probably can't actually really see like all the plushies I got back there and all that. So it'd be like pretty neat to, you know, for everything I'm putting up there, like basically, you know, for a particular shelf, I'll kind of like just show everything off at once, and instead like, you know, going over to the shelf, putting some back, and then coming back over to the computers, like, all right, this is this, go put that over there. So I try to like have everything organized in particular little, you know, piles or something. It'd just be like a really good chance for me to kind of show off like a lot of stuff, you know, I've got that people haven't seen. All right, the dining room. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? Time sure passes when you aren't paying attention to the clock. What time is it anyway? I put the clock away. Time to tackle the dining room. You got some fancy chairs there. Better be careful with those. They look antique, like they've been here forever. Yeah, but I'm probably definitely going to do it. That picture wasn't knocked over. I know that picture wasn't knocked over. Yeah, but, so that'll probably be, like, my first stream in the new house, or whatever. Just kind of, like, you know, doing, like, stream, you know, building stream. Stream room building stream. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I built, like, you know, stuff for my room on stream. Like, I've done streams where I built my desk that I currently use. I've done streams, you know, I think, like, where I built my PC. But that was on another site. And that's the thing, you know, I didn't really get a chance to, like, you know, do that with the last hat, like, when I moved here. I didn't really get a chance to do, like, a stream. I just, like, you know, that was back around the time I first, like, that was actually my very first YouTube community post, I believe. Where I was, like, talking about the move. I kind of, like, did, like, a before and after time, you know, timeline thing. And since then, like, I've added, like, a lot of new stuff to the room. Like, you know, new shelves, more collectibles and stuff. I'm waiting for a door to slam in my face. But yeah, I'm just hoping I will have, like, enough space. I mean, I got, like, some, like I said, I got 2 new bits of furniture that are going to be specifically for the streaming room, I think. So I've got, like, a bunch of comic books that I don't really have on display. You can see, like, the IDW TMNT one right there. But I've got, like, one shelf, because I'm hoping that the way this will be set up is that I won't have 2 entryways into the streaming room. Like, it'd be nice if I just, like, have one. So that way I can have, like, a whole wall right here, because I got, like, that area right there was the door to my bedroom. And I feel like if I had, like, a whole wall right there, that's, like, another shelf I could put there. And it'd be nice to just kind of, like, have, like, a shelf where my comic books are on display. Which, I mean, technically that shelf is in this room. But it's, like, currently behind me or whatever. It's just, like, it's just sitting over there because I don't have anywhere else to put it right now. Because, like, down right there where you guys can't really see it that well, but the one, like, right there, it's got, like, my little let me just kind of, like, just tilt it a little bit, tilt the camera. It should be, like, yeah. Where I got my little Kirby plushie, and, like, I got, like, my Street Sharks and everything down there. That, dresser is actually going to be moved over there. If everything works the way I would like for it to, I want to move that dresser over there next to, like, that one, since they are both IKEA shelves. The one in the middle is, like, a mainstream one from Walmart. And the one I've currently got my, you know, my comic books on, that's also a mainstream shelf. So the plan is I'd like to be able to, like, take the mainstay shelf, or because I actually technically got, like, another one as well, like the one I recently bought. It's also mainstays because they're basically very identical to, like, the Billy IKEA shelves here. So the plan is kind of like running by if I can go, if the house has, like, a full wall right here, like no door, I want to take that shelf and put it next to my my Pokemon right there, so I can maybe, like, have, like, you know, the area down there, you know, for my binders, and have, like, more room for, like, my other Pokemon stuff, like the pop figures and everything. Try to organize that, and then that one right there is gonna go to, like, you know, like, I'm gonna have, like, a wider shelf, the one I recently just got. I'm gonna have that right there for my Street Sharks, my little Transformers and stuff, and then, like, the one for my comic books is gonna, like, be there in between. I've got, like, different ways I'm trying to think about how to do it. It's all, like, subjective, like, what I'm thinking in my head, because I don't even know, like, what the layout of the house is gonna be. But it's gonna be interesting to kind of, like, put it all, you know, put it together. I mean, as it stands, there's gonna be, like, 2, like, shelves I'll be building on stream. Like, the Alex shelf or whatever, or the Alex drawer is going to be, like, right here, so y'all won't be able to see that unless I take pictures of it. But, so I got, like, this little drawer right here, which is, like, you know, where I kind of have, like, my snacks and some other stuff. But, like I said, I'm excited, you know, mainly just because I'll be able to sleep a little bit better, like, due to all this, like, you know, with these people next door coming to an end. I mean, not having to worry about them anymore. Being hopefully, like a you know, more peaceful area. Where really, like, the worst there'll be is, like, it'll be, like, closer to the high school here in town, where they'll be, like, doing, like, football games, like, throughout the fall and I think early winter, and that'll be, like, every Friday night. But at least that'll be predictable compared to, like, you know, unpredictability of people next door making noise all hours of the night. That'll be predictable, and it'll only be, like, one day a week. So yeah, it's just gonna be nice to hopefully have, like, a change of scenery, change of pace, and being able to get back doing content on this channel the way I want to. Like, you know, because there's been, like, so many times I've come in tired, and I've hated that for you guys, because, you know, this is your time when it's not just my time when I'm live, it's you guys' time. When I've come in tired, when I come in, I, like, immediately come in a few times annoyed because the people next door, you know, I feel like it's been unfair to my viewers. You know, I hate that, you know, because you guys, like, give me something sacred to you that you won't get back, which is your time. And I appreciate that. And I just, like, at times I've really, like, wished I could, like, put more into this. But I've come in exhausted. I've come in, like, in not the best mood at times due to dealing with so much from them. So hopefully, like, when we had, like, this new change of scenery, I can get away from all that. And also, like, eventually get back doing my D&D content on this channel with Dave on Sundays. I'm just trying to, like, look ahead. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate those that have been understanding, Jeremy, for sure. And I'm kind of just, like, touching base on this stream and everything, just saying, it's... Content creation is already, like, difficult enough without, like, others coming in trying to, like, sully everything. But it's something, like, I've always been passionate about, it's something no one can take away from me, but I also felt like, times I've taken away from myself and not being my best when I come in. And I know it's not things I really, take the blame for. I mean, I myself feel like I should take the blame for, like, how my mood's been at times. But, I mean, it's like, I don't blame myself for the cause of it, because that's on them. But I do blame myself, for how I've handled it. Which, I've had people say that I've handled it better than, better than they probably would have. Or, they're saying that, they're proud of how well I've handled things. But, point to it is, I'm just hoping that in the end, what is up with this table? I mean, what is up with this bench? I'm just hoping that, like, it's just gonna be a few more weeks, and maybe some things will start going back to normal. Yeah, we can toss that one. There we go. Now, I guess this is just kind of like right here. I kind of find it funny that this house, I don't think has nearly as, like, it doesn't have as much as I'm probably gonna be moving. Because most, like, probably the heaviest things I got here, they're gonna be that in my house that have to be moved. It'll be like the washer, the dryer, and maybe some of my my shelves maybe. And this one, like, recliner I got in my room, probably, like, that's just because it has, like, electronics. Because it's a electronic recliner that you basically push a button and it reclines. So I got, like, a few heavy things here, but as far as, like, just small objects, I've got, like, way more small objects than this house does. Just because of my pop figures alone. And all my I'm just ignoring it at this point. I know something's up. Okay, you freaking... And the table's trying to cop an attitude with me. But, I mean... I'm just trying to, like, take it as it goes. You can walk and run faster now. Okay. Which is concerning, because why would they... Why would they give me that? I mean, I can understand, like, going back and forth, but... Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know, but, I mean, as far as, like, tomorrow's concerned, though, like, looking, like, more into the immediate future, really excited for, like, more Bloodborne, but I'm also excited for Grounded, too. And like I said, the plan is I want to maybe go in and try to have us find a base. But I may just run things by Mega DT43 and see if he would be okay with me and Amber or whatever. Just, like, doing, like, just kind of, like, looking around just in areas that we've explored. Because really what I'd like to do tomorrow is we kind of explore a little bit. We can find a spot, like, to make a house or whatever. Make, like, a proper base. We'll just flag it and then continue to explore normally. And then, like, afterwards we can do, like, me and maybe Amber and Elginos can do, like, a stream this weekend possibly. Where we'll just go in and just work on making the house. Like, building up part of the house, like, an area we've already established. And not really worry about the story. That way we can still focus on the story some more tomorrow. Move things forward. But also, like, not really trek too far into it. Just try to find, like, a spot for our first base. And then, this weekend just focus on actually trying to do, like, a little bit of building on it. That way we don't actually go any further in the story and just do, like, one stream dedicated entirely just working on the house. So I think that'd be, like, the best way to go. Nice little balance there. And that way, like, Mac won't feel entirely left out. Because obviously the base can continue to be expanded on. Okay, we'll just put in... Alright, toaster. What the heck? That's not gonna go in there. Tupperware. Alright. And the only thing is, it's like, it's frustrating. It's tricky. It's like... I will say, like, the throwing mechanic is, like, a little wonky in this. Oh my god, go in. The heck is going on with this game now? Oh, it just says pan. We gotta be specific. No, it's got... Okay, let's just go and just grab the stuff I know will fit in here. Okay, alright, this one's closed up. I didn't even read the thing before. There's a place in the house that's full of family members. It must be the kitchen. I bet thinking about all the meals that you were cook here just fills your mind with the smells of food. This kitchen is packed full of things tucked away in all kinds of places. Empty out those drawers. Why does this feel like there's like a little bit of like a sinister nature behind that? They're like, I don't know what it is about the way they worded it. Like, can you talk about memories? It's like, what happened here? Why is it just me here? Because the main takeaway from this is the fact that this is like, you know, you look at this house, right? Well, does it even have a bedroom? Wait a minute. There's no bedroom here. This house does not have a bedroom. A living room. I guess, yeah, living room. Hallway or entranceway. Garage. Bathroom. Kitchen. Dining room. There is no, and like he's got one strange closet here. Like one little closet, which you basically probably expect is to be in the bedroom. I mean, that's like a coat check or something. There's no bedroom here. Okay, did I bring a box in? I don't think I did. Alright, it's a frying pan. Alright, we're just going to just like put away like the other small stuff. For the love of it. There's like a little bit of a... Okay, detergent or dish soap. Alright. Frying pan. Where's the frying pan? Gotta be in here. Alright, frying pan. Knife. Spoon. Be in here. Hold on. Okay, I was about to say. You got like, okay, now hold on. Now, there's definitely something wrong with this. Now, how you gonna have like only like 2 knives, 1 fork, and a spoon? I guess like it basically cuts down on, you know, on both, you know, water costs, because you don't have as many dishes to wash, and also like, you know, the cost of like dish soap and everything. You ain't got as much to wash, but what kind of degenerate am I playing as here? Like, this guy's so isolated or whatever, like he's like, you know, he's even got like, you know, he's got like 1 meal a day, like with one. This guy really knows how to budget. Of course, obviously we know he's budgeting, whereas he found like a house like without a bedroom. He's like, I don't need no bed. I don't need no bedroom. I'll just sleep on the couch. I mean, which realistically isn't in the end of the world, you know. Pet bowl. I don't see a pet. There's not even a dog here or a cat. Candle. Plate. Where's the candle? Oh, the plate. All right. One random candle on top of the... Okay. Well, weird place to put it. So I'm gonna put that way right here in case we're like this. We're gonna find out he also got a seance or something at some point. That's what's going on. But this definitely like goes in like, you know, game about digging a hole territory. I mean, outside like, you know, Amber's, you know, deceiving me. playfully such. You know, like her get me this gift, tell me not to like, you know, give me this, tell me not to like look up anything about it on Steam. But like my take on it is that it makes me think like a lot of like a game about digging a hole. That game was like very deceptive. I'm not gonna say why. For those who haven't played it yet, great game, but yeah, it took a turn. But I guess it's kind of like, you know, what I dig about games at times when they give you like this little nature that like almost seems like it's when you play like one game like this, you know, you start like learning to anticipate it with others. So even if Amber didn't like say don't check the Steam or like don't check the page or something like that or whatever, you know, I probably would have picked up on something going on here, like when that first picture fell. I don't know, just something like about like the voice thing, like the text or whatever about the kitchen and like some of the other text. Or yeah, this might be a problem right here. Devs will hopefully can fix. Yeah, like game about digging a hole really came out of left field with that. Which thankfully, at least the devs, like, you know, didn't make it too terrifying. They actually made sure that, like, you know, which one that I respect is the way they did it. They let you know something was down there when you got to that point. They didn't just dump you in there and have something immediately attack you. That probably would have been, like, too much for some people. They kind of, like, gave a warning that something's down there. But even in ways, that was kind of worse. Because it's like you hear something growling or roaring. And it actually left you with that. Like, how the hell was it me where I was hesitant on going down there. Someone would immediately went down there. It's like, okay, well, jump scares out of the way. I'm forced into this. Let's go ahead and, like, and you know, run. But with that one, it's that anticipation build up. You know, like they pretty much, you know, had like a sound effect play that made you worry about making that jump. And that's always like what to me like really like is a good selling point with anything horror. Like, you know, when the sound design can like, you know, really like, you know, be more terrifying than the creature itself showing up. You know, as I'm someone like who's firmly, you know, in the mindset of, I've, you know, kind of like, you know, spoke on this before, in that a dev has made a good horror game. When you got like a creature that never really shows up, probably barely shows itself or whatever, it's not any kind of active threat, and it's even stated it's not a threat. But yeah, still they can do like sound design where that thing, you know, is just absolutely terrifying just by, you know, you hearing it. Like that's how you know like a dev has done a great job with a horror game in my view, when they got it set up to where they don't even have to actually have like the creature like, you know, show itself for much, and they don't have to like rely on a whole bunch of jump scares. They just can do things with the atmosphere alone. And that's kind of like how like been a formula for horror, like, you know, for a long time. You know, it's based in the sense of the creature, like, you know it's there. You know, it's like they're kind of like having a build up to it. But when's it going to show up? And I've seen like, you know, and I know, and I'm pretty much, you know like a lot of like, you know, the main horror tricks or whatever. You know, basically like the fake outs, like basically when they have like the fake out scare, it's like right now, and then like afterwards the creature pops up. Like I pretty much, you know, like have my fair share of experience with horror where I know those little tropes and everything. But when you have things that come in there very unconventional, like, you know, when it's deceptive, you know, something like, you know, a game where you don't expect horror, but then it comes in out of nowhere, like they do something with the sound design, it's like, oh, shoot. You know, that in itself speaks a lot. Clearing out the bathroom. Talk about time flying by. That didn't take too long. You're almost there. You're almost done. Now all you have to do is box out what's in the bathroom, and you can call it a day. Then you can move on. At least you don't have to clean the bathroom. That's DLC. Don't look closely. Huh? Oh. And why does it feel something very foreboding in here? That's the thing, I walked in the house and it felt like just the whole vibe changed for some reason. And I just got like really tense all of a sudden. Can I check my weight on the scale? Okay, so guess it. Shit. Okay, well. Ah, I picked up on part of it. That's why it kind of feels a little more foreboding. Look at the sky. It got darker. And that's not a good sign. Or, I mean, it's basically showing me like a sunset. Yep. Things I have a feeling are about to start getting real. Alright, scale. Can I put that in there? Alright, soap dispenser. Alright. Listerine. Yeah, that looked like it was supposed to be Listerine. I'm concerned, Rogues. I ain't gonna lie. I do like the whole factor of how, like, you know, when you pick up the box, like you can have it like turned over, but then like it right sides up, like, you know, after you pick it up. So that's a really nice little touch that you having to rotate it again. I just worry about like something happening when I turn around, because this is like the perfect thing, like, you know, for them to have like something pop up behind my field of vision. I'm telling you, I know something's up. Actually. That actually, I'm surprised that worked. I know it's like, it seemed like times they actually kind of tipped over with it. Everything's packed. Okay, next gotta get the laundry basket. I guess we're leaving that for the next resident or something. I was making sure that noise I heard. I was like, wait, why is it making that noise? I thought like that was like some kind of like slapping the walls or like punching the wall. The forgotten bed. I bet you the devs did that. They did this intentionally, you know, so that way people will be like, wait, there's no bedroom. It's like, oh, you thought that. And the bedroom's a freaking plot point. You can throw objects further. Yeah, you did it. High fives for everyone. Great job. You're finished. Oh, hold on. You forgot the bedroom. How can you forget the bedroom? Silly. People have to sleep somewhere, right? Go pack the bedroom and then you can leave. Ominous ass sky. Ominous sky, you know, an ominous house. Like, where's the bedroom? Amber, what'd you get me into? Forgotten bedroom. I didn't forget about it because I know there should have been one. Stupid bedroom. The bed knobs and broomsticks are like bedrooms and bullshits. Okay, I'm gonna keep the music for right now just because it's kind of soothing. Tiny Mage. Or that's like maybe another game or something they've done. Or... Vinyl record. I swear, like, these things keep, like, the shells keep trying to kill me. Magbot. Haunting starring Poltergeist. That game, like... Amazing game... Underwear. Yeah, that game brings back memories. I was never good at it. But to me, I just love, like, the scares in it. Like, for the fact that was a Genesis game, and some of, like, the scares actually were kind of, like, you know, pretty spooky. Like, the way it's scaring people. Like, one of them, like, an example, like, when you, like, you know, haunt the door. And then they open it, and they just see, like, that very creepy shadow outside. The game actually, like, surprisingly had, like, some pretty, you know, for a Genesis game, definitely had, like, a little bit of spook factor to it. And things, it wasn't really a spooky game per se. It was, like, mainly kind of like, you know, it was like a very cartoony game. Yeah, it was very surprising, like, the way they kind of went about that. That's one game I actually would like to stream, but like I said, I never was able to really get far in, because that game was tough. Because there was another game that came along, like, years ago that did something similar. I forgot what it was called, but basically it had, like, a thing where, you know, you could, like, pretty much, you know, you were a poltergeist, you could haunt stuff to scare people out of houses, but it was a PC game. I forgot exactly what it was called. But it had a very similar premise to it. This sucks, but... Okay, hold on. It's because I... Alright. Upstairs bedroom. Whoa, you did... Yeah, she did it. That's everything on the first floor. What? Now it's time for the upstairs. You didn't forget the upstairs, right? You just go up the stairs. I shouldn't have to explain how houses work. You can start in the main bedroom. Don't look at me like that. This is your house, not my house. It's a damn conspiracy. Don't tell me I don't know about my own house. Not only did they put the furniture on the roof, on the roof where, like on the ceiling, but they redecorate everything too. They rearranged it. So, seriously, I mean, it's like it's. I mean, seriously, like, I feel like, you know, I'm like basically, you know, a sim trying to move houses or whatever, and the player playing the game where it was constantly adding new stuff to it in the process. What the hell are you looking at? Which upstairs bedroom? I know Joe would be all over that one. It looks almost like a Star Destroyer. Things expensive as I proceed to break it some more. Oh, whatever. It's not my TV anyway. It'll be alright. How's my TV? I never knew this room existed. Okay, I'm just gonna move everything like a little bit closer. I don't have to rotate as much. Okay, I'm gonna need you to get out of the way. Please. Oh my god. Really? There. Okay. Totally off on that one. I keep forgetting to get a box. One thing I will say also, at least with this stream, I did kind of like play the part on what I, you know, said about times I moved in the past. Like what I've said before, like what I vehemently stand by is that moving pizza is like the best pizza. Like it's kind of like a rite of passage for me. Like almost every time I've you know, had to move somewhere over the years, you know, it's basically pizza is kind of like is a mandatory thing. Before I started to stream, I had Domino's, and there's apparently this viral pizza that's going around that I took a shot that I tried and absolutely loved. But I'm kind of like rationing out the rest for like lunch tomorrow. You know, and there was this guy like you know, after I got the pizza, I just left Domino's, and you know, it looked amazing. You guys can see it on my community post and where I kind of explained on there. I was like right there taking a picture of the pizza, and the guy said, "That's a picture perfect pizza, eh?" Or something like that, Or that's a perfect picture perfect pivot. Words are hard. Peter Piper pickle peppers. But he's like, that's a picture perfect pizza, eh? Uh-huh. And I was kind of like just talking to him. I was like, you want a slice? And, you know, and he's like, sure. And like, but it was like just piping hot, like it just came out. He's like, this might be a little bit too hot, but you know, he's able to get a slice and everything. But yeah, basically the combination, it was like a garlic parmesan sauce on a pan pizza with Philly steak and bacon and a cheddar blend. You guys definitely gotta try it. Like, sometimes like this Domino's has been hit and miss, but for some reason that pizza to me like came across, like it basically tasted a lot like an actual pizza. Like I've got like, you know, back, you know, when pizzas like, you know, for some reason, a lot of like these pizza places, I still enjoy them. But for some reason they don't like hit as like much as they did like, you know, in my childhood. But maybe it's just because my taste buds have been more refined. But something about the way they did the crust with this one, and also just the taste of it, it made me think of like old school pizza and old school Domino's. But it was like absolutely amazing. So if you guys haven't actually tried that, like I said, I basically said like what kind I got. But apparently it's a viral one that's been going around. There's this one food, like I'll say that where I found out about it from was this one food reviewer that I actually like watching. He's one of the few ones I watch. So I like watching some, like I watched some Keith Lee, and then there's the other one, I forgot his name. There's like 4 of them I really like. There's that one, let me actually look up his name, but he has like the really deep, like baritone-ish voice. It's, give me a second here. Trying to like remember his name. I know I get my alerts from, of course, but it was, yeah, S. Johnson voiceovers. Guy's got a great voice or whatever, and I just love his content. He's hilarious. But S. Johnson voiceovers, there's another one, I keep forgetting his name. Because like there's Keith Lee, you know, the one I just mentioned, and then there's, what was his name? Because I showed like Amber, since she's Cajun or whatever, I recently showed her like a food review he did of you know, beignets. But I can't find him on here. Let me actually look up, we're gonna get back to this in a second. I'm totally like not trying like, you know, find a distraction for like packing the rest of these boxes. I like worried the son's gonna try to kill me. I played like worse horror games, but or like, you know, more scary horror games. It's once I find him, because I thought I had him that time too. Yeah, Chime, Mr. Chime Time. I watch like stuff with Mr. Chime Time, S. Johnson, or whatever. I'm probably gonna botch his name, but yeah, Chime Time, Keith Lee, S. Johnson. But like one of my other favorites is I think is a 1 hour lunch break or whatever. Is the one who basically does like, you know, the food reviews like apparently on his lunch break from his work break. And he did one of like, you know, that the pizza I just explained. But the thing is, he got like extra on the sauce, and he was saying it was too salty. So apparently a lot of people said, you know, you don't want to double up on the sauce because it's already like, you know, got enough salt to it. And with me eating the pizza, you know, it tasted perfect. Like it didn't really taste like hardly salty at all. Maybe it just could have been just my Domino's, the way they cooked it. And some people were saying you also like wanted to get the pizza well done, and I didn't even do that, and it came out like great. So yeah, but those are like the main food reviewers I watch, because you know. Especially, you know, Chime, because like the whole thing with him is that he'll basically, you know, do a challenge thing where like if he likes the food at a restaurant, he'll sometimes like, you know, pay for the first 100 people to eat for free. And then Keith Lee, of course, I like the whole concept with him where people have like outright try to give him food because, you know, him being like, you know, his status, you know, there's some like restaurants actually try to give him food to review, and like he insists on paying for it. So, you know, I definitely respect that. You know, I respect the fact that them like trying to give back, you know, leaving like, you know, big tips and everything, and just making sure that, you know, they try to help these businesses. Kind of like Ethan Page, you know, the wrestler, the whole thing with like me being like a big collector of toys and all that. Even though I wish I could actually collect action figures in such the way I want to. But the whole thing with like Ethan Page, how like he's done like, you know, toy hunts and like and put like, you know, smaller, you know, mom and pop, you know, shops on the map and gotten them more business. You know, for like the fact he's a wrestler that, you know, has like, you know, always like plays such an amazing heel, like a bad guy, you know, he seems like he's just one of like the most friendly people, like, you know, you know, when he's being himself, he's like one of the most friendly people you can meet. You know, like someone like he would just be like a blast to hang out with. But yeah, the pizza was good. You know, it was definitely one that I probably like after I get moved, that's gonna be the one I'm gonna go and get, like, you know, for my actual proper moving pizza. You know, for the actual move. Okay, so we just need like the lamp and radio. But I also just think like, you know, one reason why the pizza actually kind of hit as well is that it was more savory than spicy with this one, because normally I get pepperoni on my pizzas. And I get like the tomato sauce. But this one like had no spice. I mean, because like that's the thing, like there's been times where I've definitely, you know, got like indigestion or whatever. And that might be like, you know, one reason why the pizza, you know, also came out so good as well. It wasn't the tomato sauce. I tried like a new different type of sauce I hadn't used before. And so it's like much more savory than like, you know, it actually being spicy or anything. Everything's packed. But yeah, that's definitely gonna probably be like one of my go-to pizzas. I mean, it's nothing like anything like, you know, I guess it's like, you know, kind of like it was me experimenting a little bit, you know, considering like, you know, what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have done. You know, the whole thing with like the Fred Wolf cartoon, they always like had like very, very, you know, outrageous toppings for their pizzas. But this is definitely like one of the more adventurous ones I've had. Like, I'm one that normally when I have a pizza, I don't really like steer too far. I mean, I don't really like eat a lot of veggies on my pizza. Most like, you know, I think I've ever really had is like, you know, maybe like mushrooms. That doesn't really count as a veggie. But, you know, mushrooms still have nutrition to them. But I've had like mushrooms on my pizza before. And I think at times I've actually had like a little bit of spinach. I don't know why I bought another box in. But I guess I can have it for this, like, you know, house, like this room over here. But let me see. That sounds like that would be amazing. And I'm definitely for it. That sounds like that would be good with like with a cheddar blend too. But no, it's just like I said, I've never really been insanely adventurous with my pizzas. Normally, I'm just like kind of like, you know, just standard fare like meat lovers or pepperoni. You know, with like extra cheese, stuffed crust or whatever. That's like usually my thing. And if I do just get like a couple meats, it'll usually be like pepperoni and bacon. So this, see, I threw the TV down here, but this has definitely been like one of the more adventurous ones just based on the crust. I mean, or like the sauce. Because I've done like, you know, the Alfredo sauce at some places. But then this first time I actually did the garlic parmesan. I thought it was going to be like overwhelming, but it was, you know, just right. You can pack more stuff in a single box now. Upstairs in suite. Who's making all these rooms? Is it you? Maybe you just don't want to leave. Maybe you're making more tasks because you can't face the truth. How many bedrooms does the house need? Seriously, this is overkill. You're just making more work for yourself. Face the truth. Well, that definitely. Sorry, I got into the box where, but yeah, that. Yeah. What they said right there, now that right there sounded ominous. Like, talking about facing the truth. I can ride my bike with no hand claws. No hand claws. I don't know why I just randomly just started quoting Handlebars by Flowbots there, but... I thought they said I could pack more in this box. Guys, it's just me or am I packing less now? Something ain't right here. I thought it said I could pack more in a box now. Or maybe I just haven't been paying attention. Swoosh. Okay, I'm just gonna keep that one in the bedroom. But yeah, I like how, like, the devs definitely did a great job with this or whatever. I mean, it's a very simple game, very simple, cozy game. So far. Here, we got like a random Aurora up there. Right, that's correct, okay. I wasn't paying attention to that. I forgot they mentioned it, but... It's all good. I mean, I don't really care, like, as long as I get them in there. If I would land that basket, it's like, okay, well, at least I put in something. Like that. As I said before, one thing, I always get jealous of, like, in-game tubs when I see them. because, you know, and I'm hoping to maybe like the house I'm gonna move to actually have, you know, may have like a bigger tub. You know, I'm 6 foot, and sometimes when I get out of the gym, I just want to like relax with an Epsom salt bath, and I would love to have like a proper, I guess, chamber tub or whatever you want to call this, or like, you know, like a full tub. I can just, you know, I can just like just soak completely in. I would like, you know, just love to have something like that. Like I said, I'm 6 foot, so I'm not insanely tall, but I mean, like I said, it would just be nice to be able to like just, you know, have like a tub where I can just, you know, put some Epsom salt in there after like, you know, a hard workout at the gym and just relax for a while. Instead of me like having to pretty much, you know, basically, you know, kind of fold myself up a bit, you know, get in the tub I'm currently in. I swear it sounds like this basket's trying to box. It sounds like... And I just imagine, like, whatever it is that may actually come after me in this game, just picture it's chasing after me with a basket, and if it catches me, the scene goes black, and all you hear is... And literally all you hear, like, when the screen goes black is me, like, you know, screaming, and then... Like, just me just getting pummeled with the basket. Upstairs hobby room. Oh, great job. Let's keep this energy going. Now you got this office? Room? Hobby area? Nothing says dedication to a hobby like a room just for doing your hobby. Do a hobby long enough, you might want to earn some more money at it. I mean, appreciate you calling me out there, devs. I mean, I do streaming, and I do, you know, want to make this hobby into a career. Like, I'm, like, trying to do, like, a job, like, a coy-ass job interview here. I don't know what that is, but... I don't know. It's just like, you know, like the devs gave me, like, a motivating pep talk for my hobbies. Like, do you like streaming? I want you to make a career out of it, James. Wait, how do you know my name? I've been watching. And that timing was just perfect right there. That was perfect for that. That was perfect. Let's see, that was actually like a Lego spaceship. And I just imagine, like, you know, tossing that and it breaking for some reason. I just imagine, like, Rocket Nachos just, like, reaching through my monitor and just strangling me over that. Because I know how much you love Star Wars. Certificate? Well, okay. I don't know what for, but I guess I did it. For the... I just love how the music immediately cuts off when you do that. It's hilarious. Underwear. Like, every time I go up that door, I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's just so instinctive. All the times I play Phasmo, I just keep thinking that door is going to close for some reason. I keep on, like, thinking that that door right there is going to close before I get to it. I mean, to this day, like, whenever I play Phasmo, you know, that still gets me. Like, that's something that's like, it's always been, like, you know, a thing where, you know, you got that long walk to the door and you're just, like, just, like, the moment it closes. Like, I think it actually hit me, like, that actually happened in one of our recent streams of it. I got close to the door or whatever, and then, like, slammed. I want to say I think I survived. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did survive. I think it's when we were doing with the Revenant, and I managed to go and hide from it. And then I came out of the house and everyone got surprised. Like, they didn't actually expect me to survive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's actually what happened with us. You know, I was locked in the house. Door closed in my face, and I immediately, like, you know, like made a break for the back bedroom. I can't remember if that was Edgefield or whatever. I can't remember, but then, like, I managed to actually, you know, escape it. And then when I came out, like, you know, like, everyone was, like, was just surprised. They thought I was gone. And which I got very lucky because you're not outrunning a Revenant. Like, if you're, like, you know, in a straight shot with a Revenant, you ain't got no way to hide from it or whatever, you know, you're probably done. Because the Revenant, like, I think outside... I want to say, I think the Thea is, I believe, at its strongest, I believe, actually can be faster than the Revenant. But otherwise, I believe, like, Revenant is, like, the fastest ghost in the game. So I wish I could just, like, open a window and just toss it out. But then, like, toss this stuff out. There's not even a window here. Yeah, and what happened with you in Sunny Meadows, like I said, that's actually exactly what happened to me when the ghost almost got me in the same way. Like, I was actually, I think, hiding in the same exact area. I think a lot of it also, because I think, like, we heard the ghost coming up on you, and I think but one of the main saving graces, like, between both when it happened to you and also happened to me, is that, like, you know, we were far enough away that by the time the ghost actually got around there, you know, the hunt was, like, I was starting to wear off. Yeah, well, that was also very paramount. And that was just kind of instinctive because, like, of all the times that I've, like, accidentally, you know, like, kept the flashlight on. And I was like, you know, I've kind of, like, had to learn over time, like, to turn it off. But instead, like, you know, if I'm playing VR, I'm probably just going to chuck it. But I don't know exactly how well that would work, because technically the flashlight's still on, so I figured they actually kind of, like, mapped it to where it was in your possession or something. The ghost may still zone in. Now, y'all know exactly how it would work if you throw the flashlight off to the side, but they'd probably like the safest bet is going to be to turn it off completely. That way the ghost doesn't actually come around to where you are. Okay, well, if the ghost didn't hunt you because of that, yeah, like, box of documents. Okay, yeah, because normally it's supposed to be you're supposed to turn the flashlight completely off. All it says box of documents. That's concerning. Because that just sounds very sus. Well, okay, why is it... I'm getting the feeling like this guy I'm playing as committed a murder or something. He's trying to, like, you know, get away with the evidence or something. Like, he's done something bit... Do you know how hard it is to just be here with you while you do this over and over again? I lost track. It's so hard to be witty and cheerful when you won't let me go. Just let me rest. Fine. You want something to do? Go clean up the upstairs bathroom. It's like the upstairs downstairs bathroom, but upstairs. Be here with you while you do this over and over again. Well... I remember closing that door. Alright, clean the upstairs bathroom. They added 2 new rooms. And that one's not new. This one... They're right here. Right. Well. Well? Oh my god. They're like a duck, I just like, you know, just... Alright. Definitely seems like more and more of a story getting unraveled here. And the dev, like, definitely did a good job on pacing this. I'm really kind of intrigued, because everything's so simplistic, like, with how the game looks or whatever, but... It definitely, like, it made it kind of... interesting to see, like, what's going on here. Spray bottom flowers. What's a spray bottle? Oh, there it is. Well, okay, that had a mind of its own. I wonder. Never mind. Well, that's one way to do it. Just put everything on top of the box and then press X. Yeah, that seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. The whole thing of, like, you know, the diner. Yeah. And it kind of, like, definitely seems like they're kind of, like, going back and try to do the whole storytelling thing. Where, like, trying to, like, you know, put, like, a whole thing for everyone to piece together and what happened at the diner. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. And I really am excited about the new, like, you know, farmhouse update, too. Why'd I bring another box in here? Well, I know they're probably gonna have... Well, might as well go and, like, put it where we know it's gonna be. Okay, now this is looking more like my room. I don't know why I was lagging a little bit. It's kind of like a little bit laggy in here. Because I did that and I watched this. It kind of like, you know... Yeah, that room kind of seemed like there was like a little bit of lag to it for some reason. Laundry basket sounds just get me, though. I just imagine like a whole laundry basket just trying to slap me right now. Upstairs nursery. I lost track of what you're doing, what we're doing. Or have you lost track? I forgot if I'm giving you the jobs or just keeping track. Either way, there's a nursery upstairs. It needs packing up. Pretty little room for a pretty little child. Pretty little child, so pretty. So very, very little. That's concerning. Okay, just because, like, you know, of all the, like, the lagging going on here. The box of documents. Case like it's something going on with the figures. Goblin toy. Something's going on here. Okay, 2 points. Yeah, it seemed like it kind of like, well, it kind of still doing a little bit, but it seemed like something happened there, like, you know, what's happening, like, you know, with toys there, but... Okay, we should be able to pack everything in one box here. Alright. Let's get this taken care of, and... I swear, if they had, like, another house, or another room... Shark toy, rocking chair, box of documents. I'm tasting it before it tried to bite me or something. I'm curious about this. I know it ain't gonna work, but what if it could? Probably gonna be too big. If that would have worked, that would have been hilarious. I picture actually multitasking it, or like basically, you know, just doubling it up. If I gotta pick, because I think you picked the chair up too fast anyway, but. Well, I get a feeling like I'm gonna like, you know, take this thing out and then the sky's gonna turn red or something. Well, you're almost done. I really mean it this time. It's just a hallway. A few pictures on the wall, and then wow, you just get in that van, drive away. I can't believe you're leaving after all the things we've been through together. What is going on here? You hear that? It sounds like a baby. A baby's crying upstairs. Is it your baby? Weren't we just in the nursery? Is the nursery for a baby on the way or a baby on the way out? Either way, the baby sounds unhappy. Oh, fucking hell. Here we go. Did you turn off the lights? I didn't. I mean it. I wouldn't do that just to keep you here. Give you a side quest to keep you distracted, not me. Hey, it's an old house. These things happen sometimes. You better get that flashlight over there. Trust me. Level up. I'm not flashlight. Basement electrical box. It's dark. You never know what comes out in the dark. You ever lie awake in the dark, just your thoughts, just there with your thoughts? Your thoughts. Two of you in the black of night, lying to each other, flying to each other. Fine, look, there's an electrical panel in the basement. You should be able to switch the main breaker back on. It's not the first time this has happened. Damn it, Amber. Oh my, no. No. No, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Where's the freaking basement? Shut up, fool. Shut up, heathen. She knows what she did. She knows full well what she did. She knew. She knew. She may not be able to protect everything. She may not be able to protect everything. No, that's the thing about it. There's a reason she told me not to check that shit. Not to check. Why does it look like a? I ain't gotta say what your head looks like. Since we're turning to that kind of game now, that's the thing. There's a reason she told me not to go on the Steam store page. She knew what was coming. Oh my god. What the hell? Okay, great. It's an endless hallway. Might have seen a clip or two. Might have seen a clip or two. That's her alibi. We got sandwich. We got... No, you get back to work. So even this dude right here knows something up. He looks like he's seen something. Yeah, it was. Gotta find my way out of here because this place is so maze-like. That's very ominous. Okay. So we need to find the door code, huh? Well, I'll find it. So as it stands, it's got to be in one of these cubicles. We can't go anywhere else now. Got a little 3D printer there. Whoa! Someone doesn't like someone. It's probably me knowing my luck. 1-9. I was just gonna see if it would happen. Because I actually have, like, accidentally cracked codes before. One, 9. So we got the 1-9 right here. Of course, they had to have the Homer Simpson. Or the donut. Check and see if there's gonna be one of those cases where it's gonna be, like, closer than you thought. One, 9. One of these cubicles has to have something. Why is there a stapler in the gelatin? Okay, 1, 9. Gotta find the other. Check in here. 1979. Factory bird. You guys supposed to be like maybe like a flappy bird thing? Or 1979. Which one? 1979 or? I don't like long hallways. Is this a hospital now? Okay, what is going on? Oh, the stapler and the jello. I want to say it's the office. I ain't never seen the office, but it's on the office. Where Jimbo repeatedly encases objects in jello. Okay, yeah, it's from the office. Par for the course. Like, I've never really watched the show. I mean, I've know how insanely popular it is, but okay. Ominous red area looks ominous. And oh crap. Is it looping again? This is the way I think it normally goes, things like this. What is going on with this game now? Okay, we're coming up on a graveyard, it looks like. Guessing it's a graveyard. Yeah, I'm just like suddenly just really like focal on this rogues, like because everything like took such a quick, such a turn. I mean, it wasn't. I can't really say it was a quick turn. It was like subtle. But then like afterwards, like everything just switched up out of nowhere. Do we have to like collect collect all the flowers or something? I'm assuming. Okay, yeah, this game like definitely got a little bit more spoopy. Guess I gotta follow the lights if my usual horror game logic is to be trusted. Okay, I see like another. I just find like personal effects here, I guess. Okay, I see like another one up there. Okay, so I guess there's one more thing I gotta find. I mean, I'm obviously like, the main takeaway from this is someone died. Okay, there's that over there. I guess like I mean, I don't know if it's his wife died or like I'm wondering if it could be a thing like, because like you saw like the blood on the shoot. I wanted to try and say that his wife died in childbirth. During childbirth. I go all the way back around and get this thing. Either way, basically, whatever the case, devs like telling like a really nice story here, with like everything being like very simple, like not really kind of like big budget graphics, like not like a whole bunch of like cheap jump scares or even like really in-depth storytelling, but they're just kind of like letting like the atmosphere itself and the setting and all that, and just like what you can like leave it to interpretation, letting that like do the talking. Probably could have went through here. Okay, I see like the lights in the distance, so can't tell if it's a straight shot. There's anything in the way. I don't know. PT definitely kind of like to me came off as creepier. It's not knocking this, of course, where it's got like its own like, but I can see like what you mean by the tone. And like some of the looping mechanics and everything. I mean, I never actually really got around to playing PT. I know that I think they've actually had like some pretty dedicated like fan recreations of it. That's one of those games that sadly I wish I could have played, but I didn't actually get a chance to. And definitely like, had me like, wishing we could like seen what was really going to come from all of it. What Silent Hills was going to be, Especially if Silent Hills was actually going to have like a similar formula or to some capacity. But I don't think it was going to. It was probably just kind of like follow like typical Silent Hill formula. And that was just kind of like a means of just kind of like setting the tone for like, something that's in place. But they were actually going to go like probably like, the typical Silent Hill route with it. But at the very least, it did like kind of like, bring like a bunch of like, pretty successful games in its wake, like Layers of Fear and stuff like that. It followed a similar formula. Because Layers of Fear was amazing, but yeah, I mean, that too, especially. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, kind of makes me think of, like, because basically, like, the era of, like, games like I'm Scared of Pixelated Nightmare and, yeah. It has kind of like that. Like, I don't know if I really would say low poly. But it definitely has that style to it. So I play. Now I can crouch. That, I don't know. That like level up and that ability kind of came off as like a big like middle finger right there. Yeah, it kind of like definitely kind of felt like it was. I mean, I know exactly what games you're talking about. The ones that had like kind of like lower pixelated art style. It kind of makes me think of like another game I played on my channel, because some of them are actually ones like from my jump scare montage from my Let's Play days. And so I have on the channel like like I think 7 Days was one of them. I'm Scared of Pixelated Nightmare. Don't me. Like I go through all that and then just like a very calm. Dunk. Now I definitely dig the picture here. Because it gives like, because I really feel like this might be a Legend of Zelda homage. Mainly because of the skull on the spider's back. It kind of makes you think of like a Skulltula to an extent. Did I bring the box? Let me check. Let me go and see if I bought the box up. Yeah, and I kind of miss that era. I mean, it's nice to see, like, you know, some, like, you know, devs, like, still kind of, like, keeping concepts like that alive, and this definitely does fit the whole thing. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll go and get the box. See, now I know it's getting, like, brighter out here again, or maybe it's just because it's actually, like, full night instead of, like, twilight. Look at that basketball's, like, been stuck there the whole time. It's like, it's brighter now. Like, you know, before it was, like, it was much darker, but now it kind of got, like, you know, where it's... I don't know, but something about it still feels kind of ominous. Okay, I'll probably put this in it's smaller than the other one. Cabinets in the kit. Talking about. You want how they closed again or something? Were they in the row before? I couldn't tell. I've just been so busy, like, trying to clean everything or whatever, and... So part of me was wondering if this right here is longer. Is this longer? I think this might have been longer before. There wasn't... Okay, now the game's like having me like want to go back and double check and where to see if like it... No, I don't think this is... I don't think like this right here was as long. Unless I forget all this stuff was on... Oh my god, this game's messing with my head. Yeah, the dev I think knew what they were doing with this. I think they actually did set something to kind of like make you second guess things about the house. Urn. You can pack more stuff in a single box now. Heck, you don't really want to do you? You want to leave this? This is your home. You can't leave here. Your memories are here. You are here. This place is you. How much of your soul is in the walls? Without you, this isn't a home. It's just a house. Just dumb wood and plaster. Okay, you really want to leave? Really? Okay, go get it then. Because I swear it looks like it's trying to turn like daylight now. So I'm guessing it must be his, like, basically, he's basically all he's got here is like just memories. I don't know if it's basic, because I'm wondering if, like, because I'm thinking what it is, like, that I feel like it's a urn, not two urns. I really do think what happened was it could have been, like, you know, his wife died and possibly lost the baby. Who knows? Because the whole thing about, like, what it's, and I feel like the one that's talking to him is the ghost of his wife. And basically all he's got here is memories or whatever, you know, of that. He's trying to move on with his life. He's trying to, like, move forward. Fine, go leave. See if I care. Just get out. Get out of my sight. You can't, can you? Get out. Go. Get out. See how far you get. Get out. You need me. Get out. I need you. Get out. Please stay. Now look at this. Now it's smaller again. In fact, I think it actually might even be smaller than it was before. So yeah, I really do feel like what is his wife died and her ghost, like, you know, like doesn't want to let go of him and he's trying to move on. He's basically like he's trying to move on with his life or whatever, trying to move forward and trying to keep on living, and, you know, and her spirit is trying to keep him here. Because then he says right there, moving on. No, I don't even want to look. Ah, that's loud. I really didn't want to look behind me. Alright, I'm not looking behind me anymore. Yeah, so my guess is, you know, she's haunting that place or something. He's trying to move on with his life, and you know, and the whole thing is like, the way they kind of word it, like a baby that was on the way out, or a baby on the way, or a baby on the way out. Great, we got a poltergeist. I'm leaving. Bye, honey. I love you.
I'm all packed. It's time to move away. This was never a place I could stay. The walls are clean. The carpet is so bare.
The way I just noped out like that.
Go anywhere. I'm moving out.
Random Barbie thing is like, but you really leaving? You really leaving? Yep. And the music plays. God, like the music though. Yeah, we gotta like let this play through. Like random pink ass bubblegum Barbie.
I'm packing in. There are more boxes.
School bus, a white school bus.
For me to pack away. Moving on. It's great to leave this place.
That was wild. I ain't gonna lie. If that's actually the end of it.
Change my fate. The box is full, so neatly tucked away. All stacked up in the driveway. Moving houses.
I still say this gives me like too many Cooks vibes. Like, why does it turn dark? I feel like the way that ended, like so abruptly, so like lightheartedly, there's something else to it. Hmm.
Moving houses. Moving houses. Moving houses. I'm moving houses. Moving houses. Moving houses. Moving houses. I'm moving houses. Gotta get away. Everything is put.
Okay, now we're going.
Things have always seemed to go that way. This house has seen all that I have been through. Its walls and rooms seem to shift and move. I'm moving on.
The fact that it did a loop right here, if it does it again. I'm gonna wait. I'm not letting him pull the wool over my eyes. Something's up. I agree with Jeremy. This ended way too lightheartedly, and I've seen enough horror movies that know that they don't like horror movies not end this. See, I'm seeing that damn school bus again. And I'm seeing a shadow.
It's not sad to finally leave this place, scarred from the things that I had to face. I'm done again. I can move on from here. Can't escape these sinking fears because I'm moving houses.
I'm seeing these shadow memories of John Little. Must have been his dad or something. Or someone related to him. If this repeats again.
It's my time. Moving houses. The house is moved. I'm moving houses. The house is moved. I didn't
And I'm seeing all this that says for sale. Is that supposed to be the Grim Reaper?
have a choice. The lights are off. It's not my home. There's no one else here. No one else here. I just can't seem to leave. I'm always here. I've always been. There is no escape. No escape. Always been here. Always been.
Welcome back. I wonder if what is that is his own personal hell. So I think he's like in this some kind of purgatory or some kind of like some kind of hell that he's in. I still don't know exactly what happened, but I like how like this version of the song works. I've heard the song where, but I didn't hear this version where it actually did like just go completely, like it actually went off the rails in the end. But I swear that whole thing with like okay, he's moving, everything's so upbeat. And then afterwards, it started like, wait a minute, why is he like driving around like this or whatever? And I thought of two things. One, I think from Freddy's Dead, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare or whatever it was, whichever nightmare, whatever. I can't remember. I keep on thinking Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I think it was like Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. But either way, Freddy's Dead, the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, one of the ones that wasn't really as widely critically acclaimed as the others, or like as loved as the others. It was that part where I think they kept on driving around that town. I think they kept on looping, kind of like a similar thing there. But I'm telling you guys, when it went like basically after like it went dark and then lit back up, that doubled down on what I said before, and that the music gave me Too Many Cooks vibes. For anyone like who's seen like the Adult Swim skit for like Too Many Cooks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where they kept playing the song over and over again, and things like continue to get more and more, like dark. Kind of gave me a vibe there. But so I'm guessing like the little cloak figures I've been seeing have been like this game's personification of the Grim Reaper or something. I don't know what it is, but I guess like the general conception here, concept. I don't know what's a conception, but I guess kind of like fits with the whole thing with the baby. Is that I guess like his wife died or something, and it could be that too. I mean, there could be any number of things here. I'm thinking like something's going on with like where the entire family died. But I keep interpreting it that like his wife died like in like during childbirth or basically something happened to the baby. Like basically the wife like had to go to the hospital like and lost the baby, and she also maybe like probably died in the process, and like something like those complications during childbirth. It like yeah, so there's definitely like something there where it could have been like the rocking chair. I'm thinking it could have been his grandpa or his grandmother may have died as well, so there could have been that. Or everything just basically basically kind of like plays off. There's like a lot of tragedy that happened in his house, and like several people died. There was the rocking chair, which I guess it kind of like symbolized through the flowers. I mean, there was like the painting of him and his wife. There was the flowers. There was like the crib, and then there was also the rocking chair. So it kind of came across like it was basically could have been like portrayed as him, his wife, or like basically at least three members of his family there. Like the wife could have been the flowers, the painting could have been like or that could have been him and his wife. The flowers could have been who knows, and the crib obviously was the baby, and the rocking chair like could have been like one of his parents or something, or one of her parents. It's like I'm definitely gonna be like looking up theories about this because it seemed like they left so much up to interpretation trying to figure out what happened. I want to check out play the game with even more things to pack. I don't ever really got bothered with this, but I do want to play here. Let me at least actually check this just to see if it looks like it's the same game. Okay, it's basically just the same game. I can already tell. I'm hoping it is. Like I'm not gonna miss any more of the story. Like it's like not like some other story, but I want to at least like try out like the cut content. This is an early version of the basement section. Originally, it was supposed to be part of the game where you went deeper and deeper underground. Eventually, the basement was redesigned to be what it is in the full game. But this section was saved to share with players who finished the game. I want to at least check it out. Well played, Deb. Well played. I wasn't expecting it to happen right there. I'm just gonna like at least look at this. See if it's any different. I was like, I don't think I'm really gonna bother with like the extra modes thing. I may actually look up online and see if there's like any more to the story with it. But like I said, this definitely like seems like there's definitely a lot to interpret with the story. But I kind of like my theory, and that okay, the hang in there, cat. It looks like. But like basically like I said, it seems like something happened with both his wife and his baby and everything. And maybe like maybe like a parent. I'm gonna like for sure be looking up like theories on this, see if anyone's got like general idea on exactly what happened, because it seemed like one of those things that like it really felt like it was like left up interpretation. Where you kind of like figure out like like connect the dots. I see with this right here, with the spider thing up there, it makes you think there's actually gonna be a spider down there. That one didn't get me. I kind of knew that was coming. Yeah. But again, I do love games like that. They kind of have like, like stories that basically where you have to like kind of pay attention. Or you understand what's going on, but still kind of like leaves like a lot there for you to try to figure out. I still ain't really kind of figured it out. I mean, like I said, I just really kind of get the idea that his wife passed away while like, with child. And maybe it could have been like something happened with like, I remember his family and the grief was too much for him, we'll say. I was honestly surprised I can crouch under that. Okay. Because now I can see like... One reason why they cut it too, because I mean, there's definitely like a whole lot of slams here. It's really just kind of feel like, maybe they kind of like changed it around or whatever to kind of focus more on, like, because obviously like so much of this happening definitely could kind of like, get to where it's more of an annoyance than spooky, which, it's not dissing the devs on it. I'm glad they kind of went with like something like where they didn't really like, they only like had like one slam or whatever. I think it was like only one time to something like slammed in my face, and that like, was more than enough. I mean, it's still like, isn't like an insane amount of it they're doing right here or whatever. And I guess like a point of it, like it gets to where it's not really actually trying to scare you. It's just trying to like, guide you. Employee of the month. I don't like the same guy. Okay. Overall, though, I mean, I feel like this game, like, is definitely, I enjoyed it, like, and there's still this little bit we got to finish up here. But I kind of enjoyed it, definitely enjoyed it. It was just like, and I still felt like even with the little horror vibe, and again, it still was basically more than anything a cozy game. It's just, normally you don't really, like, see, like, too many cases where, like, somehow they, mix cozy and, horror at the same time. Like, me and my friend's time, that we spent with the, Goblin Cleanup, demo. It's kind of like in a sense, like, at the end of the day, you can tell it's still a cozy game. It's like there is like still a little factor, like you die, you gotta clean up messes, you gotta clean up, where you die, but there's no real risk system involved. Like you pretty much, revive like endless times. It's just like you have to like clean up your mess. I kind of like to touch with the rats there. You have to like clean your mess up and everything, or someone else has to clean it up. But really, there's no like risk involved. You just get to keep blank. See, that wasn't anything close to me that time it slammed. So it literally is just like with Goblin Cleanup. It's like, it gives like, kind of like vibes like it might actually be like a tough game. But really, it's like, okay, as long as, you just, don't die or whatever. And even if you do die, you can just go back and clean your mess up and just try to like, avoid what killed you before. But at the end of the day, Goblin Cleanup definitely, comes across more than anything as a cozy game. It's about cleaning up and all that, like doing cleanup jobs with your friends. And, it has like things that can like definitely make it a little more challenging, but there's no real risk involved. There's no like permadeath or anything like that. Because normally when you think like a game that like that isn't cozy, you think like a game where, you have like a limited number of retries. You got like checkpoints that set you back. Where you got like start like a very tough task over again. But this one right here definitely still to me more than anything is a cozy game. It definitely has like horror vibes in the end. Or actually, not horror vibes. It is actually, I'll say it's a horror game. The dev design is a horror game, and it is a horror game. But, it still has like the whole thing where there's no real risk. There's nothing really can actually hurt you, I think. It's just more like, it's just purely atmospheric horror. There's no real real danger. But it's still like, is the initial jump or whatever with some of the little scares that have happened. And there have been a few, couple scares that got me, even though I'm a big, I'm a horror fanatic. But it is like one of those things where I feel like, something like this will probably be like really tricky to nail, like, a cross between horror and cozy. But the dev did it, they definitely, made it happen. And obviously this doesn't have anywhere near as much replayability as like something like Power Wash Simulator or something like that. But that's not, sometimes that's not what you need. Like sometimes like people just like, want like a short experience where they can go in, just play a game. And I feel like this is worth like the $15 I think it costs. $13 to $15. And not to mention, of course, the dev they wanted to, because there's always the door for them, like, put out DLC in the future. If they wanted to. It's one of the things that made, like, Power Wash Simulator, gave it more longevity, like all the DLC they put out for it. And in the end, like, this is just basically something that I don't think, like, outside the dev, like, trying to do a thing where it kind of pulls the wool over your eyes if you don't, like, look at the Steam page. Really, this game isn't trying to pretend to be anything more than what it is, which is, like, a short, experience for you to go in, move your house, like, move boxes. And it gives, like, a little, story that opens up slowly over time in a pretty, nice little pacing. Where, like, first off, like, and it's like I said, I knew something was coming. Because, like, you're right there talking, and this, like, thing is, like, giving this narrative or whatever. It's like all, like, it's be like, oh, what you're doing is a good job moving the house or whatever. And then afterwards, it slowly starts getting more sinister. Congratulations, you have finished the original basement cut content. We hope you enjoyed the look of the game in our early stage. Alright, so yeah, you can kind of definitely tell. This was, like, much earlier. The final version of the basement was definitely better. But, of course, as I said, this was an earlier state of development. But still, I kind of like what a little bit they had there. It's like a little amazing. They could, like, I feel like if they actually would have done some more polish with that and add some more things to it, they could have definitely done more. I mean, one thing I personally would have loved for them to have done something with was the fact that they kept on, like, showing that picture of the spider, and what they actually would have had, like, some kind of giant spider that would have showed up downstairs or something. But, I feel like that would have been a little bit too much, because the whole thing with the supernatural nature, this has been, like, like, memories and, I guess, like, like, something to do with ghosts or whatever. So, giant spider would have probably, like, been, like, a bit outrageous, but yeah. Alright, guys. So, that being said, I'm going to go and call it here. I absolutely love this game. For those of you who haven't played, I definitely suggest trying it out for yourselves. There is, like, the whole extra mode you can go and do. I guess, like, I mean, unless there is something different for this one, there may be some more story, who knows, but I'm okay with just doing the normal game on stream. I may go and play extra packing mode, like, off stream, but I'm going to look it up and see if there's anything else to the story first before I do that. I might actually go and play, like, just for the sake of, like, getting more achievements, like, Steam achievements for it. But I'll leave it up to you guys if y'all want to go and play this for yourselves, to check out extra packing mode, or just, like, trying it out in general. I mean, I feel like, with everything being pretty much scripted, obviously, that takes away, like, from a lot of the fear factors. It isn't like games like Outlast, where, like, you can, like, run into, like, something that's gonna scare you at any moment. Yeah, it wasn't the worst, but it also was, like, it was far from, like, the worst. I mean, there's not, like, really any kind of game you give to me that's really been, like, really terrible, in memory. But with this one, it was just, like, again, it wasn't anything more than, like, I think, like, what the dev, like, wanted it to be. It definitely felt like, still a complete game. And basically all it was just, like, a game about, like, moving boxes, moving out of your house. That slowly turns into a more sinister vibe, gives, like, a more sinister air to it. Ends up becoming, like, an actual horror game. And the pacing on was really good, and really didn't, like, wasn't, like, being anything, I think, more than what the dev intended, which is just, like, something, like, for, like, a short little, experience for, someone to check out. And then kind of, like, get spooked out as, they start seeing, like, everything from, like, the way, like, the narrator or the person, like, the tutorial person or the one, like, hyping you up through all this, the way they're just slowly getting more sinister. The area around you, there's, like, more little, like, subtle subtle things, like, falling off walls or, like, closing and stuff, like, doors closing or whatever. It really just kind of, like, to me, came across as, like, it didn't do anything about, like, anything, like, more than what the dev intended. And what it did well. So I definitely feel like it was worth the money. And I'm gonna, like, check out, like, the devs, page, see if there's anything else they play, see if there's anything else they got in development, because I want to see more from them. I mean, again, this wasn't, like, anything more than just, like, a little short, experience, like, cozy game with, like, with a pretty surprising, horror, undertone to it. And it did the job well, especially considering that I can mix two things together. Because when you think horror, you think something that's not cozy. You think something that's going to make you scared, it's going to make you uneasy, it's going to make you nervous or whatever when you're playing through it. That's what horror games normally do. But somehow the dev actually was able to mix that with its exact opposite, what I feel, which is a cozy game, which is something where there's no sense of dread, where you can just relax, do like a task or whatever. It doesn't require like any kind of like real high maintenance or anything, and just like gives you like a means to just kind of like decompress from from a a rough day and just do just play a game. Kind of like obviously this is like good examples of that is like Power Wash Simulator is one of the kings of that. And that's just a game where you go in, spray stuff down, clean up, do cleaning jobs, and just use it as a way to unwind. It's a very therapeutic, very satisfying game to play. In regards to just seeing like all the all the dirt and everything just get picked up. It's kind of like what it was here. This literally was just like a short experience to go in, pack some boxes, see like a little story that was right there, and it did great with that. So, and like Amber was saying, it kind of like definitely kind of like goes back to like horror, like the kind of horror that I actually started out my YouTube channel with. Back when I first started this, back when I was doing Let's Plays years ago, like that was like around the time that like like 7 Days, I'm Scared, a Pixelated Nightmare, I believe like Into the Gloom. I mean, yeah, this definitely kind of like in a way kind of gave like little light vibes like Into the Gloom with that little, I don't know if I want to really say low poly, but that low, I guess maybe low res graphical style where everything's not really that detailed, and it kind of like just kind of like everything just looks like blocky, not like really a whole lot of polish to it, but it's intended and it still gets the job done, of course, for what it for the type of game it's being. Definitely makes me think about that that day of indie games and those times with indie games. Because because the day like a lot of stuff is based around like ghost hunting, anomaly detection and stuff like that, and here it was just like pretty much people like just come up with these little short horror experiences where they didn't really have the best graphics, but they still like were able to kind of like do a better job of conveying a game than some like big budget blockbuster AAA studio games out there. With little short experiences, they're just designed to pretty much just give the viewer let the player have a little bit of fun, and not really have like a whole lot of replayability, but for what bit you do play, you do enjoy it. So yeah, with that said, this was fun. Absolutely enjoyed it. Hope that the dev, continues like to thrive, with doing more, as far as like, their pursuits, with development. Gonna check and see if they did anything else, since this. I would like to see like, them actually continue like, with, putting out more games. But with that said, if you guys enjoyed this stream, deeply appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, and share. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, appreciate that as well, since there are coming out down subscribers on here. And with that, it's going to be a 2-stream day tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the gym so I can get that out of the way so I can rest up. Because starting around probably 2 or so tomorrow, me, Amberbull17, McDD43, and hopefully Elginox will be joining us for it as well. We're going to be jumping on Grounded 2, playing some more of that. And also sometime tomorrow, I'm going to try to get my next episode of Bloodborne underway. Going to get, start with that since we did, beat our second boss last night. So I want to continue the story on that. So anyways, till then, rogues, much love. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with me for this. Deeply appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thanks for watching.